Welcome to OState Daily. Casey Porter here. So glad that you decided to tune in, fans. We have a lot to talk about. A great weekend of sports. It started with tennis on Friday. Wrestling took down UNI. If you watched our interview with Lee Cothran of Dynasty Defined, Lee pretty much nailed this entire weekend, how it would go with Oklahoma State. I think one of the probably the only thing that was a little bit of a surprise was that, and maybe a little bit of disappointment, was that Jax Forrest did not get to face Evan Frost. And the big part of that is there's a determination there. Hey, are you gonna redshirt Jax, or what are you gonna do with him? That kind of deal. And so I think part of it was that Oklahoma State wanted to see how he stacked up to Frost, to see, hey, if he can manhandle Frost, and yeah, let's keep going with him. Let's ride it out to the end. He's ready to dominate, that kind of thing. And maybe if he can't, there might be some thoughts up the other way. I don't know. That was Lee's thought on that. And so I think that was a little bit disappointing that you did. I mean, he absolutely just dominated his way to a Tech fall today. Really no competition for him. So you have an incredible wrestler, but it'll be interesting. I think they're probably going to go ahead and continue to wrestle, and at least that's what the indications are of some of the people that are closer to the wrestling department than me. And then obviously he's a guy that can get you all those points as he moves through, and not just the points, but like today, he can continue to score in his matches and get you the bonus points and those kinds of things, which is huge. So we're going to get into the two wrestling duels. To be very transparent, I'm going to continue this week with my transfer portal coverage. So tonight, I don't think we'll have any transfer portal coverage. I have a post on every single transfer portal, every portal transfer, I guess you should say, that's coming in. I have a post on every single one of them, fairly detailed. We've covered almost all of them, not quite all of them, all but three. I do not have a post on Drew Mestamaker. I do not have a post on Caleb Hawkins, and I do not have a post on Wyatt Young, the big three, and that's on purpose. I saved those for last, and we're going to do one tomorrow, one on Tuesday, one on Wednesday. Those big three, they get their own each and every day. So no portal coverage tonight. I will have another video coming out tomorrow that will cover the next batch of 4 or 5 portal guys. I think I have about 8 or 9 left that I have not covered in terms of a YouTube video with video analysis and all of that. So be looking forward to the portal coverage coming out to tomorrow. And the reason is, whenever I do those portal videos, usually there's some copyrighted video, which the only thing that copyright does on a YouTube is it makes it to where I can't monetize it. And so if I put anything copyrighted onto a live show, then it actually kicks me off the show. So it's very hard to do those portal videos if I want to actually show the video on a live show, because I only have a certain amount of time, that kind of deal. So it's just easier. Matter of fact, we already have somebody on the line here. It's just easier to go ahead. Scott Swiden's on the line here. It's easier to go ahead and just make these transfer portal videos just a regular video on its own, and that way I don't have to worry about getting kicked off for a copyright. So, hey, we have Scott Swiden on the line. Scott, give me a 1, 2, 3, 4. Let me make sure I got you.
Yeah, I can't hear you, Casey, if you're on.
Okay, let me do this right here. Give me just a second. There's that, and then there is that. Okay, go ahead, Scott.
Hey, I
what's
got
up,
to
man?
listen and watch some of the wrestling today. I listened to the early parts of the match, and, man, it must have been really rocking inside there.
Oh, my gosh. I don't think it was totally a sellout like it was the Bedlam duel. Mm-hmm. I think I heard that, but, yeah, 100%. And then Drew Mestamaker brought him out of the mat. That was cool. So he got a chance to see what cool. Oklahoma State fans can be like, the atmosphere. So that was cool. And I really think, again, in OU, I think they started at right in the middle, I don't want to say the weight that they started at, but this one they started at 125 with Spratley, which I like, because Spratley, he does a great job of getting things. Matter of fact, they started with Cody Rutledge in the Bedlam duel. They started today with Troy Spratley, which I think is great at 125, because he knows how to handle the pressure, he knows how to handle the big moment, and he knows how to get things started correctly. And the problem with today was you knew you were going to probably lose your last 4 matches of the duel. So if you lost any of the early ones, it was going to be a real barn burner. So I loved it that Troy Spratly got things started today.
Yeah, I got a little irritated watching the Merrill match because I think he got screwed royally. That was very disappointing. I thought the officiating in that match was pathetic.
I could not really speak to that. All I could speak to in terms of the officiating aspect of it, Scott, let me go through what happened here, and I'll kind of take you through if I can get to my.
Well, my thing was I thought that 2 times near the edge of the mat that he had control and should have been awarded a takedown. Yet they gave what was his name, Elam. They gave him a takedown exactly the same in the overtime. That's what ticked me off. But worse than that was, not only was he kicking Merrill towards the end in the overtime, but he freaking had a chokehold on him. That was unbelievable that he wasn't awarded a point for that.
Yeah,
I realized the official was waiting because Merrill had such a deep hook on that leg and had it up over his shoulder. But, dude, he was freaking choking him. That was unbelievable. That's actually, like, okay, so we're going to go WWE now.
I can't play very much of this, but let me actually get it up on the board here so you can see what Scott is talking about. Let me go ahead and see if I can. I think I probably am going to need to.
Well, that was the part I got to watch. I was home by then. And just seeing so they kept saying, well, does he have control of both legs? Well, both times going off the mat, Merrill ended up getting secured of the second leg before he was taken off the mat. Yeah. And I just couldn't understand it. And then they go and give Elam the takedown for the same exact thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I know enough about wrestling, honestly, to be dangerous. And so, like, to be able, are you still there, Scott?
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. So to be able to, like, criticize an official or to do anything like that, I'm of no use there.
Well, there's the chokehold right there.
Yeah.
That's just insane. And there's he got that second leg when Elam hit.
So you're saying he's behind right there, and there's no reason not to give it to him right there.
Well, that's what I thought. If the replays showed that when
right here he has his leg.
Yeah, the chokehold was what cracked me up, though.
Yeah.
And
then they did take it to review. I'll give him that. So I can show this just for about another second or two. Yeah. Cody Merrill, a young man out of California, a young man who I believe this was maybe his first or maybe second loss of the year. And then so he trips him right there, takes him down. You're saying right there.
When his second knee hit the ground, Merrill
he does
had
look like he's behind. He does look like he's behind. I will say that. He looks like he got behind.
He grabbed the right ankle at the same time that the guy's second knee hit the mat.
Yeah.
And so that was both legs. And yet I know he got pulled away from with one leg, but what difference does it make if he controlled the leg? He had complete control of him.
So here's a good point too, J Hort 100. So obviously, his opponent there is running away from the move.
Well, exactly.
So why not give a stall warning or flee or whatever the rule is?
Well, they didn't give him the stall until later on, and then I thought he should have got a second one also before the final takedown in overtime because he kept running off the mat and he kept he kept jumping up and down. But the chokehold is what really got me. I just couldn't believe that wasn't some sort of penalty.
Yeah. Here you can see 6 seconds left. 6 seconds, no takedown. See the referee right there. Watch the referee right here. No takedown right there. And then with 1 second, he awards him the takedown. So it's one of those deals too, Scott, where I think Oklahoma State has a target on its back. And so
I don't doubt that. But I thought the rest of the match was okay. That was just that particular one. I mean, he had the referee showed the dangerous hold signal, and they pointed that out. But I'm sorry, but if there's not an actual penalty for a blatant choke like that, something's wrong with the rule because that's insane.
Somebody out there that's better at wrestling, if you know the actual rule, what that should have been in terms of. Should that have potentially dangerous? Is there a potentially dangerous point? Is there a point for maybe? Should that have been maybe a stall point or anything like that? Leave your comment here. And hey, Chris Evans is in the house here. 10,002 is the attendance. Say it again, Scott.
It was very close. Yeah. And I thought Merrill really did a heck of a job because he was obviously the underdog in that match, but he fought really hard to lose like he lost.
Yeah, he did a really good job. And I'll tell you, I thought I thought Connor Doucette did a good job, and I thought even the last, Trevor Dobbs making his first,
he did really
debut.
well.
Yeah, his debut in Gallagher-Iba, his first match ever in Gallagher-Iba. I thought Connor Doucette, who was facing the number one heavyweight in the United States of America, I thought he did very well. Cody Merrill did very well. Trevor Dobbs did very well, and every match was a top 15, at least top 20 match between the two. Yeah. So I know, talking to Lee Cothran of Dynasty Defined, he thought it was going to be a nip and tuck. Oklahoma State, I think, won it more comfortably than even the most confident of Oklahoma State fans going into thought it was going to be. So I think it was a successful day.
I agree, and a good win with basketball yesterday, although I'm still a little – they still don't seem to be in a good rhythm offensively. They started attacking the basket more, but they didn't have a lot of continuity, and they still didn't speed the game up like I wish they would. And did you notice that in the first half particularly, and early second half, when they blitzed or trapped the ball screen out high, how effective it was?
Yeah. And especially with Christian Coleman, because he's long enough to actually disrupt. I think Victorious Miller has good link too.
Even with Fala and Vukovic. By the way, Vukovic once again turned in a stellar performance off the bench.
He did. He did exactly what the game asked him to do. I agree.
And who knew he would hit a three? I mean, just as pure as gold, too. It wasn't even close.
Yeah, those trail threes. Also, Parsa Fala hit one, too.
Yep.
Fala those trail threes are big.
Yeah. And Roy had a decent game, even though it wasn't his best game, even though he had 26. He missed second
highest scoring game of the year for him.
Yeah, he missed a couple of easy shots when I think he was getting tired in the early parts of the second half because he hadn't been off the floor. But they did a pretty good job defensively for the most part. They gave away some drives. They didn't rotate well on a couple of times, and Roy didn't rotate two particular times I can remember, and I just think that's just him. But they don't read the floor as well. I think spending more time on that rotation rather than just the other stuff that they're probably, I'm guessing, doing in practice, I think that would teaching the guys how to read the floor better, especially when the trap is out, 35 feet from the basket.
Yeah.
You've got to understand that you give away the furthest pass. Just give it away and rotate to everybody else with the other three guys. And when you figure that out, you can really cause people a lot of problems.
I'll tell you what, Scott, I was very proud of the fact that we out-rebounded Utah by 9 rebounds. That shows some effort right there. And then also to kind of go to your point, fast break points, we only scored 12. But we only gave up 8, which means we didn't turn the ball over.
Right.
And when we did turn them, I know Kanye had a couple, but it was more so trying to actually create a shot for a teammate. And it wasn't one of those just drop dead that you throw it to the other team and to run through and a dunk. So when you only give up 8 fast break points on the road, that keeps the other team from getting momentum. And then whenever you rebound, it keeps them from getting second chances, which one thing Utah does is they shoot the three well. Then they offensive rebound. They did not shoot the three well yesterday. Oklahoma State out-rebounded Utah. I thought those were 2 big factors. And let me get your thoughts on this from an X and O perspective. We'll get back to some wrestling here. We have a confirmation on the rule here. I like the way that they handled the ball screens yesterday better. They didn't try to go through the top of them. I felt like they sagged off a little bit, and they changed the way that they played the ball screen to where they didn't have to rotate quite as much. And who I really think that helps the most is a guy like Andrija Vukovic and a Parsa Fala, to where they get to actually guard the rim, guard their guy one-on-one versus trying to figure out the rotation of the defense. Did you like the way that we played the ball screen?
As I was saying earlier, when we were not hedging out there and we were actually blitzing it and trapping it, I thought it was fantastic for the most part. Utah finally figured it out a little bit late, and then they started hedging and dropping a little bit quicker. But it could have had something to do. Maybe Utah's 5 just can't shoot the ball. So that does help too, by the way. When you've got those guys out there that can pick and pop and hit threes, you have to get out there and play a lot higher. And they had 1 3 at the end of the shot clock that was just a desperation heave that went in, and they made one other one that was just a ridiculous shot. Like, there's no way that should go in.
Yeah,
so they got
right.
a couple of those. I felt like
I didn't think Victorious Miller closed out on the one where the shot clock was coming down. It just was like, come on, Victorious.
But the guy was two steps behind the line. He didn't have his feet set, and he just threw the ball at the goal. Yeah. It wasn't a good fundamental shot. Speaking of Miller, I feel like he's pressing right now because nothing's going in.
Yes.
And he got one. He took a three down in the corner in front of the Utah bench where he was badly off balance. He didn't square his shoulders. He didn't square his feet. And I think he's getting a little desperate right now. He needs to get to the line and see some free throws go in and make some shots towards the basket to see the ball go in and get some confidence back, because he was really pressing yesterday and offensively, I thought he had a terrible game. He played okay defensively, had a couple of fouls that were a little silly, but for the most part, he did his job. I was glad to see Crotty got a little bit of play in the first half. Not sure why he didn't get it the second half. He's done a good job when he's been in there. I still don't understand why he's not getting more minutes.
Mm-hmm. I would agree with you there. I think the thing about Victorious is that he's lengthy and he's talented and he's smooth, but I don't think his body is quite ready for the punishment of Big 12. I think other leagues are a little bit different. I think people are pushing him out away from the bucket a little bit more, and he didn't quite know how to push back yet with his body type.
I mean, he's had SEC experience, and they're equally, if not more, physical than the Big 12 is. Yeah. Now, unless you're talking Houston and Tech. But, the rest of the Big 12 is not. BYU's pretty physical, too.
TCU can get pretty physical. Jamie Dixon's never not had a physical team.
Yeah. They're just – I noticed they lost again yesterday. Was it – who did they lose to? I can't remember.
Baylor's the team I can't figure out.
I thought Baylor, they just, for some reason, they just decided they like Gallagher-Iba for some weird reason, because they just lit it up. And that's the only game that they've shot, more than 30% from behind the arc.
We can't beat Baylor at home, and we can't beat TCU on the road. I mean, it's just like the ozone layer or something. I don't know. Yeah,
that's funny, because that gym at TCU, I've actually won a couple of summer games in there for national titles.
Yeah, it's kind of a cozy little gym. By the way, TCU lost 87-61 to Colorado. That's an interesting loss.
That was it.
Of course, it was in Boulder.
Colorado's hard to figure out too, but they're always good at home, and they're well coached, and it's just up there. Of course, here's the other thing: we forget sometimes that Utah is just as high elevation, if not slightly more, than Boulder, and to get that win yesterday and to finish as strong as we did was also a big deal to me.
Yes, agreed. Especially, okay, so we had the 5-point lead. We got the 3 freaking rebounds. I think one of them was I think we got a rebound off of a missed free throw from Jalen Curry on an and-one opportunity. And we missed like 3 shots in a row, and we had a chance to take it up to 7, maybe 8, and instead we don't score. And then Utah hits a 3-pointer to bring it back within 2. And I was like, well.
And then we shut them down.
Yeah, but I was like, here we go. And they didn't. So I was proud of them.
Again, with Clary missing 2 front ends in the last minute and a half, that's got to stop.
Yeah.
Either that or get the ball out of his hands.
And the turnovers.
You can't have a point guard missing front ends like that. You just can't.
Yeah, I agree.
And then Roy and Parsa bailed him out by hitting 4 in a row.
Yeah, they did. And then I'll tell you what, though. I say this. I know Jalen Curry missed his 1 free throw. He had 6 assists and no turnovers, Scott. And I know he only had 1 bucket, and he missed his 1 free throw. But I thought Jalen Curry was kind of an unsung hero yesterday.
He struggled early, but he did a really good job and did a pretty good job defensively, too.
He did.
I don't know how good Utah is. Maybe they're not very good, but they look like they have enough talent to play in the league. It's not like they're small. It's not like they're not quick. I was really pleased that in the last part of the game, the kid that played for Coach at Western Kentucky, number 3, he didn't score the last 15 minutes once they took it. He was really hot. They took him out for some weird reason, and then he didn't score the rest of the game.
Yeah.
So we did a really good job on him, and he had like 13 or 15 in the first 25 to 28 minutes of the game. So
Yeah.
And he was very quick. The announcers even made it a point to say he was the quickest guy on the floor. And I'm like, yeah, that's saying a lot when you got Clary and Curry out there at some points, because they're pretty stinking quick too.
Yeah, you're talking about Don McHenry, who actually played for Coach Lutz at Western Kentucky in his last year there when they made the tournament. Yeah. How about Christian Coleman? I'll tell you, I'm going to just say this point blank. And hey, if Christian watches this, great. You know, they all know about OState Daily. I'm not going to deny that. I'm not saying that this outlet has any kind of impact on anything. Don't get me wrong, but they do know about it. They read the post, that kind of deal. So, hey, whatever. I'll say this. I've been disappointed in the last month with not necessarily the effort, but the confidence and just the timidness of Christian Coleman, I think, in the last month. Yesterday, Saturday, whatever day you're watching, it's Saturday, Christian Coleman was the version of the Christian Coleman Oklahoma State needs to win games.
Well, let me throw this at you. Is it possible that he slows down when the game slows down? Is it possible that his motor runs higher when the game is running at a faster pace? That I just thought of that because it's been coincidental. When the games have slowed down, he hasn't been as good. When the games are fast, like even against OU, we didn't play well, but he played really good, and he really flashed his athleticism, and that game was pretty fast-paced. So I'm wondering if that's part of it. I will say this. That kid needs to get in the gym and shoot 500 threes every day, because if he could shoot the ball outside, same thing with Isaiah. If they could shoot the ball outside, they would be completely unguardable because of their quickness and their explosiveness to the rim.
Is Isaiah going to be a part of this offense, or is he just kind of a energy guy?
I think he really makes people, you can't lose track of him because he's so quick to the basket, and he can get, alley-oops, he can get loose balls, he can get occasional offensive rebounds. I think he is fine, and defensively you have to have him because of his athleticism.
Yeah, I agree. Good off the bench too. And I'll say, let me see if you think I'm wrong here, but I've kind of thought Parsafala's body language, his mannerisms for the last 2 or 3 games. I know they haven't been great games for him. I get it. I've just kind of felt like his mannerisms have been off. They've been a little bit more negative. They've been a little bit more woe is me. And Scott, with all the coaching you've done, if your mannerisms are bad, your thoughts are going to be negative, and the results are going to follow that.
Yeah, I mean, he could be tired. It could be a lot of things. I mean,
it could be.
They were talking about he had something that he was concerned with on his mind. I mean, listen, he's still got family in Iran. And with the way things are politically in that part of the world, that's a lot of burden. Unless you just wipe it from your mind, that's going to wear on you. So I feel bad for him for that reason. And listen, yesterday he was probably really nervous because a lot of his wife's family was there, according to what they said.
Well, so he went to Southern Utah.
Plays a big part of it too. He was probably wanting to really show out. He finally got off the skid a little bit there when he made a basket finally. And listen, he just has been missing those 1-footers. I will go back to what Coach Hansen always told Leroy and Ray Crenshaw and all the other guys. When you're around the basket, and I'll do it in the Coach Hansen voice, dunk the basketball. I mean, listen, if you're 6'5" and above, there is no reason you shouldn't go up there just hammering it. If I was 6'5", I darn sure would have.
Yeah.
I would have said, if you get in my way, you're going to get hurt.
Raymond Crenshaw might be the most underrated player Oklahoma State's ever had.
Well, could be. He was on
some really good teams. Got overlooked.
The one that they called the ghost. I'm number 30. I can't remember.
Anthony Epps?
No. Later on, that Anthony was 44, by the way. No. The one, Cornell Hatcher.
Cornell, yeah.
Crenshaw was Cornell before Cornell. Yeah. Crenshaw was the first guy that was the designated defender.
Yeah.
I mean, he'd take anybody. He would guard Stepanovic.
Yeah.
He would guard Tisdale. Yeah. He would guard whoever it was, whether it was post or 4 or even 3, and he would shut their butts down. That guy,
were you at that game in Norman?
In the world.
Were you at that game in Norman in '83 when it was like 105 I mean, it was amazing. How many?
I'm trying to remember. I don't think so.
Leroy had, I think, like 38 points that day.
Yeah. I don't think I was at that one. I remember I was there when we beat them, and Matt went and grabbed the tape scissors from what's his name?
Yeah.
And he went and cut the net down.
Yeah.
And the Roughnecks came after him, and Matt's using the scissors to fend them off while he's trying to work his way back to the locker room instead of just getting his ass off the court.
Yeah. Yeah. And were you in Kansas City whenever Lorenzo hit the reverse layup to beat Missouri?
No, I wanted to go. I was trying to get a hold of Steve Buzzard at the team hotel on Saturday night, and I never could, to see if I could get in. When they got back, I was out at Gallagher with the throngs of people that was waiting on them.
Yeah.
And Bill Platt came out there, and I helped him set up his deal where we actually broadcast when they came back.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, we did a live broadcast there. He had that device called a Marty that shot a microwave signal back to the station.
I've used it many times. I probably used that Marty.
Yeah, it could be. And we did that. And when they got there, I was talking to Steve and to Dorado, and they said, man, you should have just got in the car and come up. We would have got you in somehow. And I hate that I didn't, because that was such a great game. But I watched every second of it, that's for sure.
Steve Stepanovich, Don Sunvold, and that whole group. Storm and Norman, that was a great game. Hey, the Cowgirls, kind of a workmanlike effort. It took them a minute to get going today. I mean, it was a close game for a while.
I didn't catch any of it. How'd they end up?
Yeah, they went ahead, and of course, nobody could guard Staley Hurd. She had 28 points, I believe it was. Micah Gray was right behind that. She scored, I think, 21 or 22. Jaden Wooten had about 10 points. And so I think she had 12 points. There were 4 girls that had double digits today. So it was after about midway through the second quarter, I mean, it was all she wrote. And I thought the Cowgirls played good defense. But what do you think about the way the Cowgirls have been playing? Well,
I don't know how Colorado looked because I didn't see the game, but statistically, I was amazed they shot 22% from 2, 25% from 3, and 55% from the free throw line, and we didn't shoot great, but we shot 88% at the line, which was really good.
Yes.
But like 34 and 32 from 2 and 3. So it wasn't like we just shot the lights out, but the 20-3 second quarter was really impressive from a statistical standpoint.
Yeah. Is this team too perimeter? I don't want to say guard oriented, because sometimes
here's
guards.
What I think. I think that they desperately need more than one zone because they're not great guarding the ball. They're not as athletic and quick enough. So they've got to find ways to keep people from driving into the lane. That hurt them against St. John's. It's hurt them several other games. Other than that, I think she's got to keep playing more kids. I noticed that Girardi didn't get a lot of minutes against Colorado. I don't know how it was today, but you got to play. In my mind, you got to play 10 kids to maximize your return, especially if you don't have a lot of quickness. And we don't have a lot of quickness. I mean, let's just face it. We're kind of slow when it comes to that. We're quick inside, but we're not big. So I think they've got to find some things to be able to slow people down other than just man-to-man.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm a defensive guy. In my book, you throw the kitchen sink at somebody if you have to. And I've done it before. I don't know if I told you, but when 2006, when Deer Creek won state, I wasn't helping Tucker coach, but we talked every day. And we talked about, game plans and stuff. And in the semifinals, he ran 11 different defenses in the first quarter.
Wow.
In the finals, he ran 7 different defenses in the first quarter and shut down 2 really good offensive teams that were extremely well coached at Fort Gibson and Weatherford. Yeah. So that's how I think. I'm going to do anything and everything to make it difficult for you to score. And if you beat me, then power to you.
Yeah, agreed. Well, you got any final thoughts here, or any other thoughts that you want to give to on tonight's show?
I'm ready for baseball. I'm thinking about trying to take the day off on the 13th and going over to Arlington.
Yeah.
But man, have you looked at hotel rooms around Arlington? Good Lord. Do you know where the Courtyard Marriott is? That's right there on Nolan Ryan
Coach
Expressway.
Daves and I stayed there. Yeah.
Yeah. $805 a night for that weekend.
Unbelievable.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's not as bad around it, but that one just threw me. I've stayed there before, back the 2010 Cotton Bowl. Stayed there and walked down to the stadium. And it was, of course, I had a lot of Marriott points at the time. I don't even think I paid for the room. But now it's just getting ridiculous around there. But, yeah, it'd be interesting. I'd like to see how we do. I think this could be a really good team, hopefully.
Yeah, yeah. We need to get back to Omaha too. That's all I'll say. But yeah, just to get all the tension away from everything. You know.
Oh yeah, no, I agree with you 100%. It would sure save a lot of. I'm not going to say idiots, but that's what I'm thinking. That keep criticizing that don't know what the heck they're talking about.
Yeah. Hey, your thoughts on your good buddy Rex going in the Hall of Fame for baseball? He's already in the Wrestling Hall of Fame.
I saw that. I wish I could go. Well, actually, didn't they? Oh, that was already passed. They canceled it, didn't they? They canceled that
the baseball banquet
because of the weather. Yeah, that's too bad. Well, it was great. I wanted to send him a note, but I don't have his number. I need to get his number from Garrett. Yeah, that's awesome. And the other, let's see, who else was it that went in?
Oh, you had to ask me. I think maybe Brad Beanblossom.
No, that doesn't sound right.
Hold on, let me look it up.
I just remember it was some guys that I was really glad to see go in.
Give me 1 second. What are you most excited about for baseball this year? Talk about that one. Dave Holiday, which is the brother of Tom.
Yeah,
Dave is still a scout.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I see Dave about 5 times a year because he's a scout with the Phillies when I'm at either a Oklahoma City game or a Tulsa game. We talk the whole game. I love Dave. Tyler Lyons.
Yeah.
The lefty. And then Freddie Mulder, Guthrie boy. Freddie Mulder, actually, I would invite him every year to one of our practices, and he would come and watch one of our scrimmages here at Guthrie. Awesome.
Yeah, Dave, I haven't seen Dave. I can't remember the last time. It was after his hair had already turned white, but it's been 25, 30 years ago probably. But here's the funny thing. So a lot of the guys on the team back in the day after Dave left thought that I was his twin.
Oh, really?
And not only that, but I would get random people at the Big 8 tournament at No Sport Stadium come up to me and ask me questions. And it took me a while to figure out that they thought I was him. Mr. Iba, if I was by myself, Mr. Iba thought I was Dave. If I was with Coach Gross and Coach Wadley, he knew who I was.
That's funny.
Yeah. And Tommy always kids me about, turn me into a Goomba.
Yeah.
I'm not Italian. I'm Lebanese, but it's close enough. Mediterranean,
Yeah. Absolutely.
So, yeah, I love those guys.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, I'm going to get off of here and talk. By the way, the ruling is an NCAA folk style. This is from J Hort 100. Wrestling intentionally choking an opponent is strictly illegal. Direct pressure on the throat or carotid artery is considered an illegal hold or potentially dangerous move, which can result in a 1-point penalty or a stoppage of the match by the referee. So that's where you're standing.
If they weren't yelling at him to get his hand off of his throat, then it should have been the 1 point.
Yeah.
Because it was a good 30 seconds on there.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's good to know. So I wasn't as bad as I sounded.
Yeah. No doubt about it. Hey, thanks, Scott. Appreciate it, man.
See ya. Bye-bye.
Okay. See ya. Okay. So I'm going to put this link back in here. If anybody, it's audio only. I would love to have somebody on that's more versed in wrestling than I am to come and talk about today's duel, maybe that situation, the Jax Forrest situation where he did not get to wrestle against Evan Frost, what you think is going to happen there, what you thought about Cody Merrill's loss, what your thoughts about Zach Ryder and his shoulder injury, and the corresponding move of having to wrestle Trevor Dops for his debut in Galgriba. So hit that link, come on in. It is audio only. It's a lot of fun, and it would be great to have somebody on that could talk a little bit better about wrestling. Like I said, I can do just enough to be kind of a Walmart version of it, but I think it would be fun to have somebody on that knows quite a bit about what's going on. Frost had the forest flu. Yeah, no doubt about it. I saw that on the social media. That's fantastic. So I thought Connor Doucette had a really good showing for himself. Again, Connor, a guy who, in my opinion, again, take this with a grain of salt because I don't know a whole lot about it. he's not the most offensive. He's got, from what it sounds like to me, it's like he's improved incredibly over his career at Oklahoma State, but still not incredibly offensive. And Cody Merrill's so strong, especially for being a freshman. The defense that he's able to use, turn defense into offense, is fantastic. Again, lots of controversy in his match today with Elam, a guy that I think as he gets a little bit more offense to match the defense that he has and the strength, I think he's going to be a guy that's, he's going to be a guy that's incredibly exciting to watch. And Trevor Dops, I thought, did a really good job at 184 in place of Zach Ryder today, who hurt his shoulder on Friday and was facing a really, really good opponent. Dean of Iowa State is really a good wrestler. And so, a really good job by Trevor Dops. And hey, you never know, that could have been a closer duel, and not getting pinned or not giving up tech fall points or whatever it may be could end up being a real big deal down the stretch if you don't have Zach Ryder or whoever it may be else at that weight. Alex Facundo, Gayton of Iowa State, 174. Great match, 13 versus 7. Facundo, what I liked about that match is, I know at the end of the second period, there was no score, but Facundo had provided all of the offense in that match. Single-legged, he sucked it in, finally got a takedown with 1:10 to go to take a 4-1 lead in the match. And I kept thinking, watching that, if Facundo does not win this match, there are no wrestling gods, because he was the entire offense of the whole match, and finally he got his takedown, and I was glad to see that, and him beat Guyton of Iowa State there in a number 13 versus number 7 matchup, which was great. And then D. Lockett, very impressive. D. Lockett, the number 2 ranked wrestler in the United States at 165, taking on Utah, I think is how they said that. Utah came in at number 16, if I'm not saying that correctly. Please forgive me there. No score in the first period for him. Kind of a front headlock position. I know if you go to my social medias, they actually gave the exact name for the Merkel, I think, is the position they said Lockett ended up in, or his opponent ended up in. Started the down position. Third period, hit a standing switch, which was really cool. So instead of just getting the escape, he got the 2 points. Went 12-2 against a really good wrestler. Continue to look for the tech fall, which I think is great, because I think kind of with D. Lockett, the same with Cody Merrill, both very aggressive wrestlers, but anytime you can see them looking for more offense, I think that's a lot of fun. And then Jax Forrest just absolutely dominated his opponent at 133, did not get to face Evan Frost. Troy Spratley did a great job at 125, getting the day off started right. Neither wrestler scored in the first period. A great match. Number 13, ranked Poulin, came in for Iowa State. Number 7, Spratley. Neither wrestler scored in the first period. Good job of Troy Spratley just kind of staying calm, not getting too hyper. I was surprised that Poulin committed to riding Spratley, and in doing so, got a second stall call, and that gave a point to Spratley. And then also when you combine that with the escape, that was all she wrote. That was the end of the match. Kind of one of the most workmanlike, just, hey, let's just win the match type of deal and get the duel off to a good start that you'll see from a Troy Spratley. I thought it showed a lot of maturity from him. And Landon Robidoux went up again against Zerbin of Iowa State, highly rated again. This was probably the closest match of the day, number 8, and Zerbin for Iowa State, number 6 for Oklahoma State. And Robidoux shot a double, 1:15 left in the first, transitioned that to the right leg, kept working it, and was able to pull. Zerbin tried to get off the mat, and Robidoux he was able to pull him back on the mat, got his points there. Started in the down position, got away in the first 18 seconds of the second period to eliminate any chance of riding time, getting that escape point back. Robidoux started on top in the third period, let Zerbin get away. 1-1 was the score, almost 2 full minutes to go in the third. Both wrestlers on their feet. Again, number 8, number 6. 1-1, third period. Both wrestlers on their feet. Tie match. Zerbin got a stall warning, so he had to keep moving forward. And so you know that Robidoux was going to try to bait him into getting that stall warning again. And then another scramble. Rabadou finished the move. Less than 15 seconds to go in the match, won 4-1. So the duel moved at that point to 17-0. Casey Swiderski was impressive again at 149. He wrestled the number 12th ranked and Frost for Iowa State. Each wrestler got an escape early. Swiderski got a takedown and escaped and needed just one takedown to win with 40 seconds left. Frost got in a couple times. Swiderski got a stall warning, and when the clock hit 0, Swiderski had a 4-2 win. And Sergio Vega got down 1-0 with less than a minute to go in the match at 141 to Echemanita. And both young men are from Tucson, so that was kind of a cool deal as Sergio Vega was able to come back and beat his former high school classmate. Hey, man, I'm an older guy than you, but I tell you, my knees pop and ache just watching Vega. No doubt about it. Hey, Yoshi Wildman, thank you so much for joining. Yeah, no doubt about it. There's a lot of turning and twisting there. So Vega beat his old high school teammate, Casey Swiderski, got the upset at 149. That was exciting. So the day got off to a great start. Landon Rabadou had an exciting finish. Troy Spratley, very mature match for me. Jax Forrest, kind of disappointing that he did not get to face Evan Frost. D. Lockett, I thought it was exciting to see all of the offense he provided. Alex Facundo had a good match as well. Trevor Dops got his dual debut started. Cody Merrill, very controversial, and Connor Doucette, I thought, showed well for himself. So that is the wrestling coverage. That's the basketball coverage that I have for you tonight. So unless you have any more questions, I think that's going to do it for me on Sunday night in the Big Town. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. And if you know some people that weren't able to make it on a Sunday night show, this will archive. You can watch it anytime you want. And just be looking out. All the rest of the transfer portal coverage will be coming the rest of this week. I'll have separate, unattached videos. I'm going to have a video at 3 or 4 tomorrow, a video at 3 or 4 on Tuesday, and then I'll do probably a separate video, one each for the big three, obviously, the quarterback, Drew Mestermaker, the running back, Caleb Hawkins, and then Wyatt Young, the big three. So be looking for all that this week. So until next time, I want to thank you for tuning in. And as always, go Pokes.